What's up? So as of recording, it's almost the Moon Festival, or Mid-Autumn Festival, which this year, in 2024, it occurs on September 17th. During the Moon Festival, a lot of Chinese people will probably eat mooncake. There's a bunch of different brands, right? This is a popular brand, which is from Hong Kong. But there's a lot of different brands, and there's also a lot of different types of mooncake. For example, there's lotus paste, there's salted egg lotus paste, there's red bean, there's like 5 nut or 5 whatever it's called. There's salted egg, there's the frozen ones that you eat that's almost like an ice cream. Now that's just a bunch, right? Now the most popular type of mooncake is the salted egg lotus paste mooncake. And the reason why there's a salted egg inside the mooncake is because when you cut it open, it looks like a moon, right? So like the salted egg represents the moon during the Moon Festival. So when you cut it open, if you cut it in slices, then it looks like a half moon or something like that. Or if you cut it right in half, then you see a big circle and that looks like a full moon. Mooncakes, if you don't know, if you've never had one, it's just a big calorie bomb. A mooncake this big, so like this box holds 4. So like imagine a little bit less than a fourth of this box. I don't want to open it yet because it's not actually Moon Festival yet, but just imagine about like a fourth of this box, right? So maybe like 2 or 3 inches in diameter. That will maybe have like 1,000 some calories. So it's really calorie dense, and you're only really supposed to eat like maybe a fourth, maybe an eighth of every mooncake, and there'll often be like 3 or 4 different types of mooncake, like on a mooncake kind of like spread. Don't be like my roommate in college, where when I first introduced him to mooncake, he bought it and then he just took a bite out of it. That was like the most like, oh, what the hell just happened moment of my life. He took it like, I don't know. I guess it makes sense. If you see something this big, it's about the size of maybe like a chocolate chip cookie. But like you just see it and you expect to eat it. So then I can't put that against him, but it's just like growing up, I'm just like, he just took a bite out of the mooncake. What did I just see? If you're watching, hi Justin. Anyways, so it's just a big calorie bomb. You're only really supposed to eat like a really small slice. And that kind of gave me an idea. So in Chinese culture, this mooncake we eat, do other cultures have mooncake? And I realized we do. American culture has mooncake, or like Western cultures actually have mooncake. If you think about it, in China, this salted egg represents the moon, but in America, what do we always say the moon is made out of? We say the moon is made out of cheese, right? So, and cheesecake, right, is also super high calorie, super calorie dense, and super like you only eat like maybe like 1/16 of a cheesecake, or maybe like maybe an eighth of a cheesecake, right? You never eat that much cheesecake just because of how heavy it is. This is salted egg, right? This is what will be inside the mooncake. So I was thinking, why not put the representation of the moon, which is salted egg, inside what the moon is made out of, cheese. So long story short, let's make salted egg cheesecake for the Moon Festival, because it only makes sense, right? It's salted egg, which represents the moon, and then cheese, which is the moon, so salted egg cheesecake. So this is just gonna be a healthier version of cheesecake, just a recipe I found online for just the higher protein, lower calorie cheesecake, just because if we're also eating mooncake as well as this cheesecake, then our waistlines will go bye-bye. Anyways, so here's just 400 grams of Greek yogurt, and then I'm going to mix in 7 ounces of cream cheese. This is fat-free, but you can use whatever you want. Just honestly, this is just a recipe idea, so you can just follow any like cheesecake recipe and then just add salted egg to it. That's all I'm going to be doing. So I'm just going to eyeball a 7th because I'm too lazy to actually weigh it. I already weighed everything else, and I already put away the scale, so leave me be. Okay, that looks about like a 7. I'm just going to plop that in there. Maybe, that should be enough. Maybe a little bit more. Just gonna plop that in there, okay? So I'm just mixing in the cream cheese first, just because otherwise it'll just be clumpy, right? I want it to be as smooth as possible, so I'm just gonna mix in the cream cheese as much as possible before I add the other ingredients, just so it doesn't become lumpy, you know? That looks good to me. Next, I'm gonna be adding my sweetener. So this is going to be 80 grams of just any sweetener you have. I'm using erythritol or some monk fruit sweetener, I don't know. But you can use sugar, you can use whatever you want. I'm also going to be adding in my eggs now. So let's put in 3 eggs. Three. Side note, if you have a lot of eggshells or if you eat a lot of eggs, what Kenshu told me, you've seen him in the Vegas vlog, is what he would do sometimes is he would boil these down to boil it for safety, right? And then you crush it until it's like a powder, and then that's basically a calcium supplement. So you can do that. Or you can also sprinkle it into like your potted plants or whatever, and then it'll be good, like almost a fertilizer type thing for your plants. And then this is 40 grams of some cornstarch. See, so I think this is cornstarch, it was in a cornstarch container, but my family being my family, anything can be in any container, and it doesn't really look like cornstarch. It like has a different like shine to it. It might be potato starch. I'm just gonna hope it's cornstarch, and or if it is potato starch, let's just hope that it works. Whoops. Cornstarch in. Okay, I'm just gonna mix it. Yeah, I think that's potato starch. It doesn't really feel like cornstarch, or like it has like a different texture to it, I guess. I don't know. We're just gonna mix. What it looks like so far. Just gonna mix until it's all combined properly. Pour in some vanilla extract. That looks fine. So it's kind of lumpy, but I'm too lazy I don't want to wash the hand mixer, so I'm just gonna keep mixing with my spatula. And I think this is good enough for me. This is what it looks like, right? Kind of lumpy, but whatever. It should be fine after I cook it, I hope. Now I'm gonna mix in the salted egg. Actually, the one thing I don't like about mooncake is the fact that this entire thing is just in there like just a full circle. So like, you either get the paste or you get the salted egg. I wish it was like, if they sprinkled it in there or they mixed it with the lotus paste, that'd be nice. Or if there's like speckles, that'd be nice, but that's what I'm doing with this mooncake. So rather than just plopping this in there like they do with mooncake, I'm gonna be like crushing it and then like sprinkling it. I think that would look better, and I think that would be a better tasting salted egg cheesecake. And also salted egg mooncake. I wish they did that instead, but what can you do? Just gonna sprinkle it in there. Salted egg is like one of my favorite flavors ever. If you've never had salted egg, it just brings like a bit of umami that like, it's really, and then like a saltiness to it, right? It just adds like a super deep flavor to any sweet. So good. And then just mix. So I kind of lined my baking tray or baking bowl pan thing. So this is what I have, right? You see little specks of salted egg. I'm just gonna pour it into my lined baking pan. Now I have no idea how this is gonna work, or if this is gonna work, but wish me luck. If you have a good cheesecake recipe, feel free to just try adding salted egg in it. Salted egg makes most desserts so much better. So good. Salted egg custard, salted egg ice cream. Oh, I freaking love salted egg so much. Get every last drop. So I almost forgot to add some ginger. So I'm adding some fresh ginger to it, just because I feel like that's in a lot of Chinese desserts, and I feel like it adds like a little bit more to it. I'm not sure what it adds, but I kind of just like adding ginger to desserts. It's in pumpkin spice, right? So like, it's not only a Chinese thing, but yeah, I just feel like the ginger adds like a nice little like subtle kick to it that I think I really appreciate. It'd be better if I had ginger syrup or like ginger juice, I guess, but then I only had fresh ginger on me, so I hope I don't bite into just chunks of ginger. Just finished transferring. So it's at 45 minutes to an hour on 320 degrees Fahrenheit and baked. Cheesecake. Now just let it cool and then we'll put it in the refrigerator for 8 hours.
Basically, it tastes like a Monaco.
Whoops. So here's my salted egg cheesecake. So definitely a few things, right? So I'll give it maybe like a 7, maybe 7.5. I just think that there's a lot of ways I can improve it. So number one, obviously, whisk it better, right? Or else get this cobblestone pattern. Just because otherwise it'll just be clumpy, right? I want it to be as smooth as possible. It should be fine after I cook it, I hope. Number two, sift your cornstarch or potato starch. Number three, I haven't done Jimbo baking in a while and I completely forgot, but whenever you cook with Greek yogurt or any type of yogurt, always add baking soda, or else you get this like acidic like aftertaste, or like subtle acidic taste that yogurt always creates, almost like a sourdough taste. So if you add the baking soda, it'll neutralize that taste. Just add a little bit, you don't have to add too much. Number four, when I was biting into it yesterday, right, I bit into a chunk of ginger. I hope I don't bite into just chunks of ginger. So don't just roughly chop. You want to either use ginger powder, you can use ginger like water, right? Like just smash it and then kind of extract the water. Or you can just grate your ginger so you don't get just chunks of ginger in it. And number five, I feel like there's parts that have really good salted egg flavor and then parts that are more lacking and you only really taste cheesecake and vanilla. So What you can do is you can either microwave it or steam your salted egg, and then the oils or like the salted egg fats, they'll kind of they'll melt, and then the flavor will better permeate throughout the cheesecake. But right now you'll see chunks of like higher density cheesecake or higher density egg yolk right there, and then chunks that don't really have any. So if you want it to be more pronounced throughout the cheesecake, just do what I said and just like cook it a little bit longer so you get those oils and those flavors to kind of extract into a water, and then it'll better mix in. Or you can just add more salted egg yolk, right? So I only added 2, maybe add 3 or 4, and then that way it'll be more pronounced throughout the cheesecake instead of just in like subtle bits. But I will say, I think it's really good. Let me just rip off a piece. Right there, right? Definitely makes it better. I mixed it within like 15 minutes, so. Definitely room to improve, but still really good. Maybe we can make this for Moon Festival. So as a recap, I made salted egg cheesecake for Moon Festival or for Mid-Autumn Festival. I think if I did everything perfectly, I'd give it like a 8.59. Like, it was definitely a good choice not to put in the extra salt, because the salted egg like really adds like a layer of depth or another dimension to your cheesecake. Just definitely mix it better, right? Don't be as lazy as I was. Or else, look how cobblestoney it is. It's so funny. But yeah. Or you don't have to follow this recipe, right? This is a high protein, low calorie recipe, but just put in whatever cheesecake you have, right? Whatever cheesecake recipe you have, I'm sure it'll be fine. So this year for Moon Festival, make salted egg cheesecake. I know for sure if I just added that pinch of baking soda, always. When you cook with yogurt, when you cook with Greek yogurt, always add baking soda, unless you want that sourness. I've created some recipes where I was too lazy to make sourdough, right? Start with a sourdough starter. So I just made a yogurt bread, and that was basically just sourdough. And I wanted that sourness, right? And in that case, don't put baking soda. When you're trying to make like bread, mantou, cheesecake with your Greek yogurt, just add that pinch of baking soda, and that sourness is gone. Happy Moon Festival, and have a good day.